In today's video, we will talk about some crazy Reddit Am I the a-hole stories. First one being, am I the a-hole for not wanting to get engaged to my boyfriend after 10 years? My boyfriend and I have been dating since 2016. He's 25. I'm 26. I care about him. But whenever I imagine calling him my husband or fiancé, I feel uncomfortable. I'm not sure if it's anxiety, emotional avoidance, or something deeper. But there's a strong feeling in me that says, avoid. Our anniversary is next week, and like every year, he hasn't mentioned it or planned anything. I'm always the one who brings it up. That's made me question whether I can spend my life with someone who feels emotionally immature and self-centered. We also haven't traveled together much. He says he isn't allowed to travel with me, yet he's traveled a lot with his friends. Recently, he told me he's ready to get engaged this year because he finally has his dream job. But I don't fully believe him. It feels like he wants to take the next step because everyone around him is in long-term relationships, not necessarily because of how he feels about me. He doesn't reassure me or talk about his feelings much. The only reason he gives is that he wants to start a family, which honestly feels like a boring reason to get married. I told him I'm not ready, and it's not just about money. I don't have my dream job yet. I haven't traveled the way I want to. I'm moving out of my parents' home later this year. I feel like I should be happy that he wants to get engaged, but something still feels off. Even if I achieved all my goals, I'm not sure I'd suddenly want to marry him or understand the purpose of it. All my friends are getting engaged, and while I sometimes feel left out, I don't feel ready. People make comments like, 10 years and no ring? I could never. It feels condescending, and I barely have anything in common with my married friends anymore. I'm ethnic, but even my parents aren't pressuring me. Overall, I feel behind in life, and part of me doesn't even want my relationship to be the thing that looks successful, just to match everyone else. So, am I wrong for feeling this way? So what do you think? Is she right to trust her instincts or wrong for staying this long without wanting marriage? Comment your verdict below. Now let's move to the other story. Am I the a-hole for asking my husband for a divorce because he blames his financial incompetence on my lack of employment? It's been about 2 months since my original post, and a lot has happened since then. TLDR. My now ex-husband had serious spending and gambling problems and neglected our shared bills for months. He blamed my lack of employment, while I blamed his spending far beyond our means. After I left, he repeatedly took out cash advances in my name and maxed them out. The car payment, which had once been 6 months behind, is now 3 months behind, only because I intervened. After visiting my family for Thanksgiving, he told me I needed to get a job immediately. I began applying. But when I wasn't hired within a week, his behavior completely changed. He became verbally abusive, degrading me, insulting me, and using past traumas against me. When I finally told him I was done and wanted a divorce, he became enraged. For days, he recorded me inside my own home, followed me around yelling insults, and openly degraded me in front of our children. He repeatedly threatened to take my children from me and claimed the courts would side with him because I had placed a child in an open adoption years ago. That was my breaking point. The following Friday, I packed what I could for myself, my children, and our pets, and left to stay with family. Shortly after, he began blowing up my phone, continuing to threaten me, and insisting I would never see my children again. During this time, his behavior became increasingly erratic. He began calling me the devil, talking about Judgment Day, and insisting that a judge and his lawyer would destroy me in court. Within just 5 days, he filed multiple emergency court orders against me. At our court hearing in December, he made false claims that I was neglectful and isolating the children from him, despite the fact that he spoke to them more than 10 times a day. The judge dismissed the orders and stated that his behavior was concerning, especially after he admitted to verbally abusing me, while the children were in the next room. After the hearing, I looked more closely at our finances and discovered that every bill in his name was fully paid, while the bills in both our names were completely neglected. I also found that he had taken over $1,100 in cash advances in my name since I left. I secured the accounts and prevented any further damage. When he received a military bonus, I used part of it to catch up on the car payment. He attempted to report the payment as fraud, but I stopped it in time. He then locked me out of our shared bank account and refused to take responsibility for the debt, saying it was my problem now. I retained an attorney and officially filed for divorce. Despite his constant threats, it turned out he didn't even have a lawyer. We've since reached a custody agreement, and I've restarted my business. Things are slowly improving. I never imagined the situation would escalate this far, but I'm grateful to those who pushed me to recognize the warning signs.